Now that you've downloaded and installed the LANGuardian software, here's a quick guide on what you need to do next. So load up your browser, and if you go HTTPS to the IP address that you've assigned to the LANGuardian system, you can access the web front end. Then we need to go to Sensors, and you should have some sensors listed here. These are installed automatically as part of the installation. I've got 2 sensors in my system, so I'm just going to edit the first one here. I'm going to give the sensor description. So this one is connected to the core switch on my network. Check the local subnet setting. Just make sure here that your whatever subnet ranges you use on your network are listed here. So it's a comma separated list. So I'm using 192.168, so that's fine. That's listed there. And lastly, you just tick the box to report all web accesses if you want to log all web activity on the LANGuardian. So that's it set up. Next, what we'll do is we'll just click on configuration, and there's a couple of things we need to do here. Firstly, check the sensor status. And what you want to make sure here is that you've got a bandwidth total. So this is the total traffic that we're picking up from the core switch at the moment. This figure will vary a lot. It's not an average, it's just a sample. So just to make sure that that is capturing data. If it's not capturing data, do a search on our YouTube channel and look at the LANGuardian installation video, which shows you how you can set up a span or mirror port and get traffic to the LANGuardian. The IDS process is running here, and our traffic analysis engine is running. So that's fine, that looks correct. The next thing we want to do on the configuration page is, if you've got an Active Directory or eDirectory set up, scroll down, go to the identity configuration, and in my case, configure support for Active Directory. So on this next page here, you have 2 options. We can add a new server, so that what you can do there is add each domain controller on your network manually, or you can click the Auto Discover option. Using the Auto Discover option, we need to define a username, a password, and an IP address. The username must have access to read the event logs on your domain controllers. And the IP address here is the IP address of one domain controller on your network. So if you put in the IP address, hit the search option, you can then add all domain controllers, and that's the Active Directory component installed. So now that we have the sensor set up, we've got the Active Directory set up, it's going to show you the reports that you need to take a look at when you log on first. So I'm going to go to the bandwidth section here, going to go to IP, going to look at the traffic distribution report. This report here allows you to specify time period. If you've just installed the system, just leave it on the last hour and run the report. So here we get a breakdown of all traffic on the network over the last hour, and we can drill down in here and get further information. If you wish to get usernames in the report, you just click the user button at the top of the report that you're in, and LANGuardian will go and get the associated username. Just a word of warning on that: if you've just after installing LANGuardian and you've just installed or you've just set up the Active Directory option, it will probably take a couple of hours before the usernames appear in the report. So it looks like here I've got traffic in my reports and I can drill down. The next thing you want to check is go to the security section, go to events by signature. So while the last report we looked at takes a look at the traffic on the network and the top applications, this report will show us if there's anything suspicious or bad happening on my network. So in my case here, it looks like we've picked up a number of users using the BitTorrent application, and we have a number of users accessing websites. So we have the option here then to drill down and get further information as to what's happening. Best option here is to use the little plus and click on Breakdown by Source IP. So when you install your LANGuardian, it's worth checking out the security report. So go to Security Events by Signature. The next thing you want to check is go to the modules, go to Web, and maybe take a look at what are the top websites being accessed by users on your network. And again, we have the option here to drill down and find out further information as to what's happening. So here we have a particular client on the network here. It's accessing YouTube, and we can drill down and get further information. Next thing you might want to check If you've got any Microsoft file sharing on your network, so if users access file shares, go to Modules, Windows File Shares, maybe do a search by file name, and run the report as is. So in my case here, nobody's accessed any file shares on the network in the last hour. I'm going to change it to the last 4 hours. And we've picked up here that a number of users have accessed some files in the network. Okay, that's a very quick introduction to the LANGuardian system. If you have any other questions or you're interested in finding out more information about how to use the LANGuardian, you can check out, if you scroll down to the bottom of the web interface, there's a number of links here. The Network video links to our YouTube channel, and there's a lot of videos in there showing you other ways you can use your system. And what we've just launched as well is the Network Forum. Just going to click on that here. And the Network Forum is a online community where you can discuss the LANGuardian, ask questions, and interact with our support team. So there's lots and lots of questions being asked here, and we respond to those and post information about how to use the system.